Hey, is that folk music there you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horse.
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
Coming in from Tennessee, riding on the line. Son of a gun, little darling, couldn't keep from crying. Honey, baby, I'm bound to ride. Don't you wanna go?
Morris Street in Morristown, New Jersey.
Riding on the streetcar, looking over town, eating salted crackers, 10 cents a pound. Honey, baby, I'm bound to ride. Don't you wanna go? Saving all I can, looking for that woman that ain't got no man. Honey, baby, I'm bound to ride. Don't you wanna go? If I die on the railroad, bury me under the ties, so I can see old number 4 when she goes rolling by. Honey, baby, I'm bound to ride. Don't you wanna go? Yeah, honey, baby, I'm bound to ride. Don't you wanna go?
Yeehaw! All right, the show is Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin, and we have with us a man from the deep back hollers of, I think, the Boston area. His name is Eric Royer and his Guitar Machine Band. How you doing today, Eric? Welcome to the show. Glad you could make the trip.
Yeah, it was a long, hard trip down the road there.
So, this thing, you invented, yes?
I invented it and mainly built it. I guess you could call it I invented it.
How did it come about?
Well, I used to play on the street out in Tucson when I lived out there, and I just played the banjo, bluegrass style, the 3-finger style, and it was sounds kind of thin without the rhythm section behind it. If you're playing Scruggs stuff, I think. So it kind of needed something with it, and I didn't really know anybody who really wanted to play bluegrass or real, simple 3-chord type stuff that I wanted to do. So I can't really remember how it dawned on me, but I had an old guitar, and I lived in a place that had all kinds of junk laying around, and I used to build stuff, and I took the guitar and I put a pedal on it that would just strum an open chord, and
it worked really nice with the banjo. So after that, I just kept refining the idea.
Well, sounds cool.
Thanks.
And you do a lot of the traditional material from the bluegrass tradition.
Yeah, mainly bluegrass stuff. I've been starting to do some Johnny Cash type, like the older country stuff, just to give it a little different sound. But mainly it's bluegrass or old time songs.
And then you add it on. I see you added on the steel and you kind of switch back and forth. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'd like to get a fiddle happening, but that's probably not going to work out because it's just too complicated right now anyways. But I'm trying to imitate a bluegrass band as closely as I can. So this would be the dobro, and everything else would be what it is, like the bass and the guitar and the banjo.
Well, I like to refer to a harmonica as a pocket fiddle.
Yeah, I never thought about that. It's got the sustain.
Yeah, it's got the sustain, and you get a lot of the same high register, you know.
Well, and I've got a mandolin on here too. I don't know if you saw it. It's that Spalding golf ball down there. That's the mandolin player. That's Bill Monroe down there.
That's the mandolin chunk.
Yeah.
Chunk. Well, why don't you give us another tune?
Alrighty, let's see. Yeah. Here's one I wrote up in Boston when I was down in the subway. I just improvise a lot with instrumentals, so I'll do one of those.
Yeah, all right. What do you call that one?
Well, that's called foot fretting. Someone saw me playing, and I was improvising, and he asked me the name of it, and I didn't have a name, so he said, "Why don't you call that foot fretting?" So
That's a good title. I like that. So speaking of feet, I see you play this thing with your bare feet. So it occurs to me, you make most of your living as a street musician up in Boston. Mm-hmm. How do you cope with that in the winter?
Well, I don't have them with right here, but I have just some basic wool socks, and then I wear regular socks underneath that. And I cut holes. I do have my big toe sticking out of each sock because I really need to be able to feel the pedals, or I can't.
Yeah, I can imagine.
it just doesn't work when I can't feel them. But when it's really cold, I play in the subways, and they don't get quite as cold as it does outside.
Yeah.
But it's not easy, and I think I developed some kind of weird problem with my right ankle, but I've been really working on trying to reduce the strain on the right foot, because I used to have real hard springs on there that I'd need to put a lot of pressure on the right foot to make the pedal go down. And doing that for hours on end really messed up
stress on your,
yeah, and I hopefully stopped before I did any permanent damage, but in the cold weather that kind of gets worse, those problems. A lot of the other musicians get carpal tunnel and stuff in their hands. I never had any problems with that, but.
So I guess you wear the gloves with the cutout fingers too in the winter.
That's a hassle, playing a banjo with gloves on.
Yeah.
I know you've probably done that.
Yeah, it's a hassle.
Because it restricts your motion.
Yeah. So we should tell folks about your, you have an album out. You get a shot of that, Bob? It's my customized CD holder. Does that work for you, Bob? Like that? Okay. And folks that are interested in finding out how they can get a hold of this or where they might see you, I don't know. Do you do a mailing list? Do you do coffee houses or concert appearances at all?
Yeah, anything like that would be listed on my website.
The website, okay.
That's the only way I have right now of getting.
Okay. And folks have that address right there in front of them, and I can't read it from this distance, but you probably know it by heart, so why don't you?
Well, it's www.guitarmachine.com. I have trouble with those W's, I don't know. And then my phone number on there is 617-375-5586 if you want to give me a call.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, well, give us another tune there, Eric. What do you want to do for us?
Let's see. This one's called Stay a Little Longer. I got it off of Bob Will's thing, but I think it's pretty old. So.
Okay.
So that's.
I hope his lawyer doesn't come after you.
Want to see my blue-eyed Sally? Lives way down on Shinbone Alley. The number on the gate, number on the door, and the door next over is the grocery store. Stay all night, stay a little longer, dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you won't stay a little longer. By the mill, bridge washed out at the bottom of the hill. Big creek's up, the big creek's level. Gonna plow my corn with the devil's shovel. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you won't stay a little longer. My love, slop bucket fell from the window up above. Mule and the grasshopper eating ice cream. Mule got sick, so they laid him on a beam. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you don't stay a little longer. stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you don't stay a little longer.
Yeah. All right.
That guy's weird.
He's one of my favorites. Yeah. So, do you recall what first got you started down the path to musical career here? Was there some twisted
Yeah, I got
event in your
a
childhood?
guitar for Christmas. Pretty boring at the beginning there. No, I've always loved music, but I started probably a little later than a lot of people. I was in high school. I got a guitar, but I really loved it right from the beginning. And around that same time, I was going to a lot of punk rock shows and stuff, and I was really interested in music a lot, and so I wanted to get in a band, and I just really started practicing all the time. I can't really say that if there's a single event that happened, but I just always liked music and the whole thing connected with music, like the people. And
How'd you get turned on to the bluegrass thing after the punk rock?
well, it's kind of hard to explain, but I don't think they kind of are connected in some weird way to me. They're real rootsy, both of those things. I also like a lot of other things that are real folk based, and when I say punk rock, I just mean like real raw rock and roll that I happen to be listening to at the time. But it's to me it's not a whole lot different than a lot of folk music. It's just real loud, and it sounds different. But the people that are making it, I think, if they were in a different environment, they would be playing bluegrass, or they'd be playing whatever, wherever they happen to be. So I don't think it was that big of a jump. It may seem like that, but it's not to me.
So you grew up in the Boston area, did you?
Yeah. Well, in a small town north of Boston. I moved to Boston when I was older.
The folk music
Make it
capital of
big.
the world.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Seems like it. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
as
there
far
is.
as
There is.
folk music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else would you like to play for us?
Let's see. I'll do Working on a Building. I do this kind of more of a minor sound on it, I guess.
If I was a sinner, tell her what I would do. I'd quit my sin and work on the building too. Working on the building, working on the building, working on the building for my Lord, for my Lord. Holy Ghost building, Holy Ghost building, Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord. If I was a gambler, well, I'll tell you what I would do. I'd quit my gambling and I'd work on the building too. Working on the building, working on the building, working on the building for my Lord, for my Lord. Holy Ghost building, Holy Ghost building, Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord.
tell you what I would do. I'd keep on working, but I'd work on the building too. Working on the building, working on the building, working on the building for my Lord, for my Lord. Holy Ghost building, Holy Ghost building, Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord. If I was a preacher, I'd tell you what I would do. I'd keep on preaching, but I'd work on the building too. Holding up the building, working on the building, working on the building for my Lord, for my Lord. Holy Ghost building, Holy Ghost building, Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks.
That's a good one. Well, we just have enough time. Well, yeah, I guess we have enough time to do our jam session thing we worked out on old Joe Clark.
Yeah,
But
we've been practicing this for hours.
But we forgot to meet your friend here. What's her name?
Now that's Polly,
Hi, Polly.
from as in pretty Polly.
Pretty Polly. So I was inspired, since you were playing all these instruments at the same time, I was inspired to bring along my contraption too, which I only played once or twice. It was, I had a booking for the USA Network, and they needed a one-man jug band. So
See, these are the kind of springs that I was getting carpal tunnel from. So you got to watch out.
I'll be careful about that. I'm going to add my jug onto my rack here. It's a maple syrup jug from New Hampshire that my brother-in-law gave us for Christmas a few years ago. So,
Old Joe Clark.
Old Joe Clark, thanks very much for coming down to visit us, Eric.
Thanks, Ralph.
And maybe we should show your name and number again if they got that available, so folks can do that. Yeah, they do have it. Eric Royer can be contacted at, if I can read it, 617-375-5, what is it?
5586.
5586. www.guitarmachine.com.
Yeah, that's an easy one to remember. For me,
Okay,
anyway.
we're going to take it out.
Old Joe Clark.
Old Joe Clark. Preacher's son preached all over the plain. Only Tex the Aaron knew was high-low jack in the game. Rock, rock, old Joe Clark, goodbye Betsy Brown. Rock, rock, old Joe Clark, tomorrow I'm going to town. rock, old Joe Clark, goodbye Betsy Brown. Rock, rock, old Joe Clark, tomorrow I'm going to town. Old Joe Clark, he had a cat and neither sing nor pray. Stuck his head in the buttermilk jar and washed his sins away. Rock, rock, old Joe Clark, goodbye Betsy Brown. Rock, rock, old Joe Clark, I'm going to town. Lay it down. Invited me to supper. I stubbed my toe on the table leg and stuck my nose in the butter. I went down to old Joe's house. Old Joe, he wasn't at home. I ate up all his steak and bread and gave his dog the bone. Rock, rock, old Joe Clark, my Betsy Brown. Rock, rock, old Joe Clark, tomorrow I'm going